Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. We are so happy to have you with us here this evening. My name is Nicholas Viselli. I'm the artistic director of Theater Breaking Through Barriers. And on behalf of all of our artists, I'd like to cordially welcome you all to our second Hybrid Playmakers Intensive, or HPI 2, live and in person. Indeed, we are coming to you live and in person, right from the heart of the Thunderdome, right here in Midtown Manhattan. I have to apologize again. There's always little ghosts in the machine, so we've started a few minutes late tonight, but we will make up for it, I promise you, because the show we have for you tonight, oh, it's amazing. I'm so excited, and I feel very, very blessed as an artistic director and also for our company, because we have such an incredible pool of talent that we're able to work with, and we're just so honored that they are able to come and work with us and not only create a wonderful intensive for all of you, but also their talent elevates our company, elevates our work, and of course our mission. So thank you so much for being here. All right, no more talking. I want to get right to this really, really wonderful show. It was written by Juan Carlos Diaz. Juan Carlos has worked with us several times in the past. He's written for us and written some really beautiful work. And of course, he's acted for us, and he has created a wonderful piece for tonight. It is called Cultivated Soul. It is directed by Gaia Visnar. Gaia, again, amazing talent that has done so much work with us as an actor, as a director. I think she's back in New York now, but she was in Slovenia. So I know for a lot of the rehearsals, she was back in her home in Slovenia. So we come from all over the place here. And then stellar cast, folks. Shashi Bangera, Alyssa H. Chase, and Patrick J. O'Hare. We'll talk afterwards, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, buckle in, sit back, and enjoy Cultivated Soul by Juan Carlos Diaz.
Hello, everyone. I'm Gaia Visnar. I'm the director of this play, and I'll first ask my wonderful actors to introduce themselves and describe themselves a little bit. Alyssa, please.
Hello, welcome. This is Alyssa H. Chase. I'll be playing Grace, and I present as a white woman appearing in her 30s with black hair, brown eyes, and fair skin. I have a low hanging ponytail in the back, a bright blue shirt, and a dark purple and green tie-dyed cardigan over the shirt as well.
Hi, my name is Shashi Bangera. I'll be playing Vera, and I have long black hair. I have brownish skin, South Asian descent, and I'm wearing glasses, and my shirt is a Columbia fleece shirt.
Hello, my name is Patrick J. O'Hare. I will be playing Jonah. I am a white male with his hair is brown, side parted, and I'm wearing glasses. And I am in a blue button-down shirt with a collar. And later on, I will be in a t-shirt.
Thank you so much. This is Gaia Visnar again, the director. I have fair skin, blue eyes, dark brown hair, long. I'm wearing a gray shirt and a shiny necklace. I have had the pleasure to direct these wonderful human beings in this amazing play, written by Juan Carlos Diaz, who has been with us the whole time through the process. We've been working on the lines, and he really made sure we felt comfortable and that his play is being served. He is also going to be reading stage directions for you tonight. So I hope you enjoy our work, and I'll see you after.
Cultivated Soul. We begin in blackout. The set is Grace's apartment. The space is very neat, spacious, modest apartment, though similar in interior to the pre-war apartments of Washington Heights in New York City. Lots of natural light illuminates Grace's apartment. A woman enters. She puts on a lamp. She lights a candle. She lights incense. She rolls out a yoga mat in front of her. She partially unfolds and sets down a yoga blanket. She sets down a pillow. She sits on pillow. She breathes deeply, lets out breath slowly, and begins to whimper and cry. The doorbell rings. Vera enters.
Hello, my dear. Are you ready for yoga?
Oh, I'm not feeling well. Go on without me this time, Vera?
Something the matter?
No, not really. Wow.
Well, look. After I namaste at yoga, I'm calling the husband and kids to order pizza. Coming straight here, you and I are going to have a heart-to-heart, and whatever it is, will get you feeling better. You, my dear, are not alone.
Vera's phone notification chirps.
Javi, you freaking selfish child. Namaste. Chill. Composure, Vera. Javier decided to update our shared calendar last minute. Now yours truly has to pick up our damn son. I'm sorry. I love them both. Just exhaling not to keep it in. He's so lucky he doesn't cut into my yoga. Anywho, brain check for sure?
Vera runs off to yoga class.
Shared schedule. Wow.
Blackout. Scene 2. Vera starts a video chat with Jonah. Vera can be seen in her lovely spacious apartment. Jonah is seen with a view of the Eiffel Tower behind him and a red beret in hand.
Oh, good. I know you're traveling again, but I thought I would try you.
Bonjour, mon ami Vera.
And it's good to see you too, Jonah.
Thank you, same.
Listen, I like to ask, have you spoken to Grace recently?
Let me think. Not since we were last all together at your kid's birthday. Is everything all right?
Yeah, I'm sure. At least I think. I'm concerned is all. Something seems off with Grace. The last time I saw Grace was several weeks ago. We were scheduled to go to yoga as normal. She canceled. It's been some weeks since our usual coffee meetups, chat, yoga classes, etc. I'm beginning to worry.
Why, you jealous little lover!
Silly! And when I messaged her, her responses seemed distant and barely there. Look, I know it's just a text and it's really hard to tell how a person's feeling, but am I being out of bounds?
Do you fear it has something to do with what happened 3 years ago?
The asshole ex-boyfriend or the other thing?
Oh, please. Men, you get over. The other thing.
Well, now I'm concerned. I hadn't thought of that. I wonder if that's what she was trying to tell me at the door before I ran off.
Breathe. I'm sure it's fine. You know some of her favorite nooks and crannies throughout the city to decompress in. Show her some love and then video chat me so I can pronounce you her jealous lover.
Shona, you wonderful human. And you jerk. I didn't think of swinging by her favorite Japanese tea house. I'll have her call you when we talk. Let's touch base when you get back, whenever that is. Love ya.
J'adore. Au revoir.
Blackout. Scene 3, a Japanese tea shop. Grace is seen sitting by a window, staring out. Vera enters.
Grace?
Vera,
Is it alright, or do you wish to be alone?
please sit. I could never mind your company.
My goodness. Smells so nice in here. Soothing.
What kind of tea did you get?
Cherry blossom?
Mmm, soothing.
As soothing as your company, my dear. What has you to your own lonesome self lately? Is there a warm body that's taking hold of you, soothing you at night, telling you to forget your friends?
No, nothing like that.
Well, I've missed you, friend. You know I need my calming grace. Now that I know it's not some crap man that I gotta knock out again, what's going on? Are you well?
Something unfortunate happened recently that kicked up a lot of. It's been on my mind.
Oh,
Recently, one night, I was cooking dinner when I heard an ambulance. I saw it turn onto my street. Something instinctual and impulse, I'm not sure. I looked out the window and I saw an old figure lying on the ground with some folks around her. Next thing I know, the stove is off. I'm running downstairs, keys in hand, sweatshirt on. I I was calm. I was calm through each breath. Donna Elsa lay on the ground, face down, barely the energy to cry from the pain. Apparently, she toppled over face first when the weight of her grocery cart pulled her forward. Blood dripping onto the cold concrete from her beautifully aged and weathered face. I managed to quickly track down one of her son's numbers somehow as the EMTs aided her and placed her on a stretcher. I gave it to the EMTs, they rushed her off to the hospital. The blood pool still staining the front of the building where her face used to be a week later.
oh, honey. I understand. This is a tender time of year for you. In my haste to get to yoga, I didn't see your face at that time, or even remember that your mom's anniversary is coming up.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, this weekend. When I came back upstairs that night, I felt cold, distant, alone, and out of place. When I put my sweatshirt in the closet, something fell and hit me. An old keepsake box fell onto the top of my head.
Oh, honey. Honey, honey, honey. Come, give us your hands. Both of them. Oh, your hands are cold. Now, look into my eyes and listen, heart and soul. Good, you hear? You are a brilliant soul, a brilliant woman, smart, tender, open, not just to the world and yourself, but to change and growth. You are fierce and courageous and always willing to embrace the growth through the pain. You are grace, you are love, and you are loved. Whatever this is or turns out to be, you got this. Yes, it may hurt, and you know this, but I know you, and also know that it will feel good at the other end. You'll break open again, and better than ever. I know you got this. More importantly, do you know you got this?
Thank you. Yes.
There's Grace. I'm glad I had to drag you to kickboxing and knock some sense into you. Now hush. Let's enjoy this beautiful view and each other's silence. Oh, call Mr. World Traveler, wherever he's right now on the planet. He will love to see you. It's really relaxing in here.
Yeah.
The two quietly and in their own syncopation turn out to the window as they sip their tea. Slow fade to black. Scene 4. Grace starts a video chat with Jonah. Grace is in her apartment. Jonah is wearing a t-shirt and can be seen by a window with the view of Spain behind him.
Saludos! ¿Qué te pasa?
Your recent trip to Spain?
Still on it, dear friend. Oh, how I've missed your soothing face, Grace. Next time I return to España, you must come with.
Thank you. I'd like that.
Is everything all right?
Remember how when my mother died?
Oh, God. It's not that pain again.
No, it's different. How best to explain? I'll just say it. When my mother passed, through all the pain and heartache, what came was profound. And for that, I am eternally grateful. And while I miss her at times, I'm filled with love each day and hold on to the memories. But my mother's past was wrought with pain and agony, a heavy pain that I'll never have the opportunity to know and understand. You can imagine how that can permeate forward and affect me. I think I've learned to accept that past that mother was so intent on holding so tightly till her memories faded. Sometimes I think it was for the best. Other times I wonder if that's what's caused her slow fade, everything she had to endure. Recently, I found an old box of cassette tapes. They belonged to her.
Oh, my dear. That's a lot. I can understand.
And there's more. They're
Oh, my.
of her voice.
Oh, my.
I'm not entirely sure when she recorded them or if they were something she did in private or after when she began losing her memories. I think they're later in life. I'm just anyhow, I haven't gone through them. I popped one in into her little old radio. When her voice came on, I felt unsure what to do next. I haven't been feeling the same since or dared to even listen again. It's coming up on the anniversary of her passing this weekend.
I completely understand. I'm going to share something I don't think I've ever talked about before. I think it might help a little. Gosh, how I loved choir when I was a child. Loved it. The echoes of those solemn places. I still dream of them. The harmonies, the sound of the solos, even when it wasn't me up there. Loved being up there. But what I also carried forward from those times were the personal challenges I had. Those were the most rewarding and freeing, especially the next time that I would get up there and share my solo. I felt free. Sometimes I still walk into a church and sit in silence, listening to the sounds of those memories.
Mm.
Now, this is far greater thing than the difficulties with the solo, but you have everything you need within you. Trust that and trust yourself, friend.
Thank you, Jonah.
Do you remember when I told you to take up gardening? It's relaxing, it's therapeutic. It allows you to be with you. Just you, your heart and your soul, Grace. Plus, you need two hands. Take up gardening, my friend. I've got to run, but let's chat again soon. Love you. Kisses, kisses.
My love to you too.
Jonah's video chat window closes. Grace shuts off her phone. She begins turning off lights till we only see the lamp from top of play. Grace begins same routine as before and in the same manner, this time stopping just before sitting down. Grace lights a candle. Grace lights incense. Grace rolls out her yoga mat in front of her. Grace grabs a blanket, sets it down. Grace grabs her mother's old shoebox of cassette tapes and places it down. Grace grabs a pillow, puts it down. She nuzzles in couch, rummages through her mother's shoebox of cassette tapes. Grace pops in a cassette tape as we hear her mother's voice.
I accept you. I embrace you, my love, with all my love. And I wish it were that one could control time, so, and in doing so, I would be with you and by your side and cheer you on. I'll be loving you whole, my dear Grace. When the time comes, I'll wait for you in eternity, my love, my soul, my little Grace, your mother.
Blackout.
Control.
End of play.
Beautiful play. Beautiful play. Come on back, everyone. Let's talk about this for a sec, shall we? Wow. All of you, such an amazing job. Such a beautiful piece. Thank you for this beautiful work tonight. Boy, oh boy. I love this play so much because there's a great deal of, well, I mean, without delving into any personal things, I think there's a great deal of love and peace in the middle of sadness, grief, loss, and the ability to for friends and voices to come together from all over the place, including not from this world, to be able to help to comfort each other and to console each other, which I think is such a beautiful thing, especially in this time that we find ourselves in. And I really want to talk about that a little bit. I know we have a second show, so I don't want to talk too much because I want to make sure you all get a bit of a break before we move into the 8:30 show. But I always start with our writer because all of this begins with the word. So Juan Carlos, let's talk a little bit about where this play came from and how it manifested not only within your mind, your soul, but also in the discussions you had with your artists.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, thanks my heart to all the wonderful cast. It's been a wonderful journey. It's I think we had the task of communication, and I thought, oh, that's daunting. There's so many gadgets around us. How does? But from our first meeting, day one, this wonderful cast, director, and all, really just something in each of their eyes inspired me. And I think that night we got off the Zoom meet and greets, and I went off, and I for the next couple of days there were notes everywhere. In the middle of cooking, I'd find a notebook or something and jot stuff down. But it was I think what just popped out at me and resonated is just not only the communication we had to have amongst ourselves in actuality, but for these characters, these souls, the communication that they're trying to have with themselves and their identity and their life and their friends. Grace is fortunate to have a wonderful, I think, balance of friends. And the weird thing is that I think writing it, it was a little comforting, and in a selfish way, because I just remember thinking, yeah, that's okay. Jonah's here, no, she's here, and they're talking. It was just, I think, listening and finding the right words that maybe the character of the scene required, or maybe the right word that on a given Tuesday I was feeling something, and I thought, what's something I would want to hear? I can say it to myself, and when it would find my ear, I would find it a way to put it into the script. And the cast was wonderful and just giving me so much to work with and play with, and they were fearless in that. From like, hey, let's change these 3 lines. Does that one not work? Is it dated? Is the sounding? So they truly helped me just find its soul together, and the voice of it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just really so beautiful. I think you know, what I love, I always, the one thing that I've been thinking about a lot in the course of not only when we sort of came up with the prompt of communication in our world today, and how oftentimes with all of the technology we have, that I feel that communication has broken down. It's harder and harder to communicate with people, genuine communication, that I feel that has changed. Now, that might be me dating myself. That might be, but I just feel as human beings, our interactions with each other, the intimate interactions, just being in the same room and not just hearing each other's words or reading each other's words, but to actually feel the you know, without saying, just being, which I think you captured beautifully in this. What is to me that an idea is an ideal, and it really is to me the sort of the pinnacle or the apex of what human interaction could and should be. You know, we all are going through our lives, I think, without getting too philosophical, I think we all walk a solitary path in this life. We may have many friends that are walking alongside us for a time, but there are always moments when that path will veer and shift, and you'll find yourself by yourself or with people that you never even expected. It's just the way our journeys take us, you know. But you still have to walk your path. And I think, you know, when you're able to really establish that intimate communication between human beings, it is what helps us. We need each other more than ever. I think that's one thing I feel we're losing now. The more dire our world feels, the darker our world feels, the more we have to realize that we need each other. We have to hold on to each other. So what I love about this play is you have such warm and caring people. You see Grace that who's going through this real sadness in her life right now, and yet she has people that are just genuinely there for her and care about her, and that's beautiful. That is so beautiful. So thank you so much for reading this. So Gaia, I think you did a magnificent job directing this. I know that it was, as it's supposed to be, a collaborative effort, but all of the elements that you put together and how you've put them together, there's a lot going on in this. There's a lot of scenes in this play, and yet it all came together so beautifully. I mean, how did you tell me what your experience was putting all this together?
It was great.
Starting it in Slovenia and then working your way here.
Yes. Well, first of all, I had great actors, so I thank you all for they really brought themselves to the process from the beginning. And I was fortunate to have the playwright with us the whole time. So anything that needed to be changed, anything that didn't work, he was right there. We talked. So that was a massive help. And then Zoom collaborated, thank God, because there's a lot of tech things that I thought were going to be more challenging that they were in the end. So really this is my directorial debut with TBTB, and I really had a wonderful experience.
Well, you'll be doing more. There's no question about it.
Yes.
I love that. I mean, I think you're wonderful. I'm just so grateful that we have so many artists who are so multi-talented, that are writers and directors and actors. And usually I'll get people that'll say, I want to do everything, which I think is great. I love that. And then, of course, we throw that challenge that says you can do all three, but you can't do all three in one project. It has to be separate.
Right.
So it gives you that opportunity to really work with a lot of other artists. And so I thought.
And if I may say, I think Zoom is great for these short plays that happen in different spaces if you can use the virtual background. So I knew I wanted to do that from the beginning, and a combination of virtual and non-virtual depending on where we are.
Yeah.
So I think that really complemented the story that we wanted to tell. It was a big help.
It's beautiful. And I just want to remind you, I mean, the whole point of doing these intensives is that it is a collaborative exercise from the beginning. It's not an exercise. And when I say collaborative, I mean in the sense that, of course, the writer must do the writer's work, and the director must do the director's work, and of course, the actors must do what they all do. That said, the fact that we have open channels and there's input and feedback throughout, so that we can all try to perform our best work, is very important. And I also consider this workshops, work in progress. So to me, having the writer in the room as much as possible is very beneficial. And that's not, we don't force that. I don't say, okay, writer has to be there, or director, you can't kick the writer out once the play is written. No, I think it should be open so that this play will develop and grow. And then there might be possibility for the writer to say, yeah, this is good. It needs a little tweak here after I've seen it in performance. Or, you know what? This play, I think, needs to be bigger play. There's room for this play to grow. There's all kinds of possibilities. And so the more space we give each other, the better the opportunity to create, or to see those possibilities anyway. So thank you. You did a beautiful job.
Thank you.
So now we have our actors, our artists. My goodness, all of you, so wonderful. I'm actually going to start with you, Alyssa, because you've done so much with us, and I love you. I think you're so wonderful. This play felt to me very, I mean, it was there was something very naturalistic about it and very personal. And tell me what you were feeling, or what this was like for you. And do you have any thoughts? Or I also want to sort of talk about what you all discussed to help inspire Juan Carlos to write this.
Thank you, Nick. I am also a big fan of yours. I agree that this is, in a world of realism, I think that we all experience journeys of loss and grief and change. I think for myself, that's been a very prevalent experience and theme, really, in my life in the last few years. I've had a lot of death and a lot of sickness and change. And in that experience, which I believe was something that we talked about in our initial meeting, which, if those in the audience don't know, part of this process is we work with the theme. We meet the playwright for the first time. We meet the collaborative team. We're put together in a random way, and it's kind of magical, because it's like, oh, here we are as people. Now let's see, what comes up around this question for us and where the conversation leads. And that, it brings different ideas into the space, and then the playwright can use that to find, what story that inspires for them. And then the alchemy kind of continues from there. So for me, this is very real. It's very relatable. It's a lived experience. And yet at the same time, things like grief and loss and, death is something that is the mystical world, right? It is different levels of consciousness that we're conscious, and we're moving through our world and the energy of this chapter and those who contribute to that, right? But also, as we move forward, we're aware of all of these different chapters, these different experiences and people who have made us who we are and who have made our lives what they are. And so in a way, it's like, I said this to someone the other day, my dead are with me. They're with me all the time. And in a way, it's like, yeah, they're not physically here, but they're so present in how I experience my life, my continual chapter. And so it's kind of an overlay of worlds. And I think that Juan Carlos did a beautiful job of finding what are the ways that we're brought into that experience again unexpectedly, hearing my mother's voice when something that I didn't think I would experience again. having the kind of reverberations, the pang of loss, and seeing my neighbor, have this tragic fall. All of those ways, all those reminders of what we're given and what we're still carrying with us in the journey.
Mhm. Yeah, it's true. It's absolutely true, and it's very, very beautiful. That's one of the powerful things about this piece is that in a very realistic and in very it's in a very simple but yet oftentimes unexplainable ways, because
Yes.
yeah, death and loss is we all have ways of dealing with it and experiencing it, and based on how we were raised and all of the past experiences in our life that sort of help dictate how we push forward. It's really strange how it all works. But I agree with you on so much of what you said. I think, we don't know what happens when you die. There's no way to know that. We can only guess. But I think in a situation like that, there may not be a rational, intellectual, scientific explanation of what happens.
Mm.
But I feel that there is something that, as a human animal, it resonates. If I feel, and this is very individual and personal. And when you feel that, I tend to say it's right. What you feel is what is right. Maybe not for everybody, but certainly for you. And I think in one of those, and that's something I feel that you always have to sort of listen to and go towards.
Mm.
And that this play is just so filled with that. And to see how your sadness is being cared for by your two wonderful friends is just beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. So, Sashi, you've done some beautiful work with us, and again, you're just amazing. You really are. Thank you so much for such a great pleasure to work with you. Tell me about this piece for you. How did this resonate with you?
Well, thank you for having me. I enjoy doing this.
Mm.
For me, it was personal in a sense because like we all face losses, and I faced a personal loss like a few years before, like, during COVID. I
Mhm.
lost my grandma, so it's like it kind of it hit home for me
Mhm.
doing this project, like, and like I felt for like I felt for Grace, so it
Mhm.
was like, okay, like if I was Grace, I would need a viewer. Like I would want someone to be there for me and like trying to help. So I was like, okay, this is Vera. She's doing this, and Jonah. So I was like, and I had that in my own personal life. So I'm like, I kind of wanted to bring that out in the character. So
Oh, it was beautiful. You were really, really wonderful. And I get it. Think, I mean, these last few years have been tough.
yeah,
Just blanket statement. I think that's fact, and I think we'd all agree with that. Um, but I also know that it feels like there was an extraordinary amount of loss over the last couple of years. I think I can't speak for everyone. I know there are so many people in my life, um, either family or friends, very close people that I know that are no longer with us. And it just sometimes you feel like it feels like everything's coming to an end, because it's just not this one too and another. It just feels like the casualties are piling up, and it's just been processing all of that's been really a challenge. So yeah, I agree with you. You need the support, and once again, that need for that human interaction of someone just to be able to say, I'm here. I'm here. You're
yeah.
not alone. That's important. And what about you, Patrick? Although, I mean, traveling all over Europe, for God's sake,
Comfortable. I really love the way that Juan Carlos like developed these relationships between each of the characters. because I have a group of friends, and we lift each other up. I feel like that's what friends are supposed to do, or it's nice when they do. And I just kind of love the way that we all communicate with each other, even if it's not Grace. Like Vera contacts Jonah to go, "Hey, I'm worried about our friend." You know what I mean? And all through it, we're just trying to lift each other up, and like even between Vera's concern, Jonah's trying to alleviate her concern and try to, level it out a little bit. And I just really love those interactions between all the characters. I love the Japanese tea. Um, I love that scene that you both do together. I love it so much.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, and there's something very again very warm in this. I mean, it starts with very much a base of sadness, which I feel on a macro level kind of helps identify the times we live in. And then the fact that you just are getting this comfort from all over. You're getting, that Grace is able to get comfort from her friends who first, one interacts with you, and then the two friends interact with each other, and then the other, and it just feels very beautiful. And then the final is you get this beautiful what we would call a confirmation from the voice of your mother at the end, which is just very beautiful and hopeful. To me, it's a hopeful play, and that's one of the reasons why I love it so much. I think that's something that's so important and reaffirming as a human being. So I loved it. I loved it. Does anyone else have any thoughts? Or I'm talking a lot. I tend to talk a lot. I'm sorry. I want to hear what your thoughts. And if I'm wrong about this, or if you have anything that you'd like to add, please do. Anyone? Juan Carlos, I'm going to say this on camera. I think I owe you some royalties. As I'd mentioned, Juan Carlos has written for us several times before. And in the last play you did for us, you did a play called DOG. You remember? And you love to record things. You always have you had I know you had all the beautiful background and the doorbell and the all these other and the recordings. And the last play you did, you had some recordings, and now I have adopted one of them as my ringtone on my phone. So I think I owe you royalties for this. Where is it?
I assure you they're all royalty free.
Unexpected call.
Do you remember this?
Vaguely, a little.
You recorded it, and it's
Unexpected call.
Now I remember it. Now I remember it.
So
Yeah,
whenever my phone rings, I hear ringtone. That was you that did it, wasn't it? That was your voice?
I believe so. Yeah. For that piece, yeah.
All right, checks in the mail. That's all I have to say. I am just so grateful to all of you for such really beautiful work on kind of an overcast Thursday. You just something really beautiful and hopeful, and I think you're also wonderful. So thank you. So now it's 25 after. Go off and take 5 minutes, and I'm going to wrap this up, and we'll start again at 8:30. How's that sound? I want to thank all of you so much for being with us to experience this wonderful piece tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Please tell your friends, tell your family. We still have a few more nights here. We have tomorrow night, we have Saturday night, and then of course we have the big extravaganza, the in-person portion of this event, where we are going to be in studio with a live audience, and we are also going to stream that, and we're going to do 5 brand new shows. So in addition to the 6 that you are going to see this week, you're going to get 5 more. So I hope that you'll be able to join us tomorrow tomorrow we have another wonderful piece. This one by Estrella Tamez. Now you had the great joy of meeting Estrella last night. She was in Robin Carmen Marshall's "No Sandwich for Me, Please," but now you're going to get a chance to experience her as a playwright. The play she wrote for tomorrow night's offering is titled "All I Want," directed by the amazing David Adam Gill and starring Helen Cox, Tamar Kummel, Richard M. Rose. Now, just so you know, Tamar has directed for us earlier this week, and now you are going to get to see her as an actor. Ditto with Richard Rose, who has directed, and you will see him as well as an actor. And Helen Cox is just amazing and a very, very dear friend, and I'm just so thrilled that she can be working with us. So that will be at 7:30 on YouTube and 8:30 on Facebook. So I hope you'll join us. I want to thank you all again so much for being with us. Go to our website if you want to know more about what we're up to. If you really, really love us, click the little donation button on the top of the page. Any financial support you give us is not only greatly appreciated, but it becomes an investment. You become a partner. That's the way I like to see it. So your partnership is invaluable to us. So we hope that you'll continue to watch and let everybody know, spread the word, and we'll make sure to see you in a few minutes on Facebook. If you want, come and see the show again. It's so good. I think it deserves a second go around. That's how I feel about most of the work, but this one's really great. And then tomorrow at 7:30. So have a wonderful evening, everyone. Stay warm, stay dry, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.